Yes, so good afternoon. Uh, we have finished, we have started transaction yesterday and we have seen basic definition of transaction and it's nothing but any program which updates or access the database is the transaction, right? Then we have seen the ACID properties of the transaction, that atomicity, so transaction should be either complete or zero. Mean there should not be any partial transaction. Consistency, isolation means when the transactions are executed in parallel, and durability. In case of failure also, transaction system should be able to recover the original values of the database. Then we have seen these two important operations, read and write. Read means to read the data item from the database and store it into the buffer, and write means from buffer to the hard disk or the main memory or the database. So for any item, any operation, first the item. What is there anything? So any item needs to be brought in. So read, which transfer the data item X from the database to the local buffer belonging to the transaction that executed the read operation. And write means transferring the data item back to the database from the buffer. Then we have seen this simple transaction to transfer $50 or 50 rupee from account A to account B or item A to item B. And in context with that, we have seen the four ACID properties: consistency, atomicity, durability, and isolation. And then we have seen the states of the transaction. The transaction may be anytime, any of the 5 states: active, when transaction is actually running; partially committed, after final statement of the transaction will get executed; failed, that means due to some failure, transaction cannot be proceeded; committed means after the successful operation and all the changes which that transaction made will be stored in the database; and aborted means the transaction will be rolled back and database will be their original values, right? So these are the 5 states of the transaction: active, partially committed, failed, aborted, and committed. So up till now we have done these things. Now today, from today, we will execute means we will be learning concurrent execution, right? So every database, you take any example like Amazon or Make My Trip or bank transaction, are they allowing parallel transactions or not? Are they allowing parallel transaction? When you are purchasing something on Amazon, can't any other person purchase? They can purchase. When you are transferring some money, you are withdrawing some money from ATM, can't any other person withdraw? They can. So it's a parallel transactions that you are making, right? Consider if you cannot do parallel transactions. So Amazon is having millions of customers. If some customer is purchasing, no other is allowed to purchase. So how much waiting is there, right? So why concurrent executions? First is improve the throughput. Throughput means number of transaction in a unit time. More and more person parallelly do the transaction, it will improve the throughput of the system. Resource utilization, better utilization of resource, and reduce the waiting time. If 1 million customer are purchasing parallelly, and if it is serial, then your turn will come after 1 million customer. Oh, after years or even after decades, right? So it is reduced waiting time, right? So let's understand concurrent execution. What is concurrent execution? What are the advantages, advantages which we have seen, but what are the problems and what are the solutions to that problem? Consider these are two transactions, T1 and T2. Tell me what T1 is doing. T1, what T1 is doing, we already seen. What it is doing? Transferring 50 A to B. What T2 is doing? It is detecting 0 multiplied by 0.1 is 10%. It will transfer whatever the A's balance is, 10% it will deduct from A and it will transfer to the B. Right? So A and B. So now we'll see various cases. Now you be ready with pen and paper, and then we'll see what are the problems and what are the solutions to that problem. So tell me, first my question is, which will get executed first, T1 or T2? Let's ask the student who are online also. So these are two transactions. Which will get executed first, T1 or T2? T1. Okay. I am having two transactions. Which one will get executed first, T1 or T2, and why? My one more question is why? Why T1? Why not T2? Why T1? Why not T2? Okay, my next question is, who will decide what will be executed? Who will decide? Either T1 or T2. Who will decide? T1, because you need to first have a transaction. Why T1 and T2? Both are the transactions. T1 is also one transaction. T2 is also a transaction. Then who will decide which transaction will be executed first? What? What? Yeah, they will be done, but which first? There are some instructions of T1. There are some instructions of T2. Which will start first? Transaction. See, you as a person, when you submit your, for example, you are transferring 50 from A to B, and there is some other person who are transferring 10% of A to B. As a person, you can decide? No, a person cannot decide. So it is the database management system and operating system, because when an instruction get executed, it will use processor, hardware. So it is the job of operator. Right now, say I am using Google Chrome, I am using my mic, I am using PPT. So, but it is so fast, processor so fast, so I can have that. You can say I can pretend that all these are executing parallelly, but generally it is executing serially, right? Because the processor is so fast. So it is the operating system and the database management system who will decide which will executed first. Now you all of you take pen and paper. Now lots of work you need to do today. Now before the transactions begin, T1 and T2, before the transactions begin, T1 and T2, value of A is 500, value of A is 500, value of B is 1000. Value of A is 500, value of B is 1000. So what is A plus B? Yeah, I'll share your screen. Share means you PPT, right? PPT I'll share, but first You write the value of A plus B is 1500. So what our target is, after the transaction also A plus B is equal to 1500. Isn't it right? After the transaction also A plus B should be 1500. Now consider these transactions are executed serially. Like this, first A1 will get executed, first T1 will get executed, then T2 will get executed. Now tell me the final value of A and B after this, and tell me total of A plus B. Calculate the final value of A and B. Before this transaction, value of A is 500, value of B is 1000. Now tell me final value of A and B and A plus B. After here. Okay. Any other answer? No. Answer of Prince is right. See, let me tell you. So A's value is 500. So 500 will be deducted from A. So A's value will be, here A's value will be 450 and B value will be 1050, right? 450, 1050. So 10% of 450 is 45. So out of 450, 45 will be deducted. So it's 405 and 1050, 45 will be added. So 1095. So value of A will be 405. Value of B will be, it's just plus and minus, simple. As a college student, you should do this. The value of B will be 1095. So what is A plus B? A plus B is equal to 1500. So consistency is maintained. Anyone is having any doubt in this calculation? Student who are online, anyone is having any doubt? Okay. So if I, what repeat here? It's simple calculation. So here value of A is 500. So 50 will be deducted from 500. So if I deduct 50 from 500, so value of A is 450. And value of B, I am adding 50, value of B is 1050. So 450, after T1 get executed, value of A is 450 and value of B is 1050. So now read temp is equal to A multiplied by 0.1. So 450 multiplied by 0.1 is equal to 45. So A means 450, 450 minus 45 is 405. So value of A is, now 45 will be added in 10. Here you remember value of B is 1050. 1050 plus 45 is 1095. It's simple mathematics. addition and subtraction. If you cannot do this, I am sorry. So if I execute T1 first and T2 before transaction, 1500 is the total. After transaction, 1500 is the total. So consistency is maintained. Now do this. Now I am executing T2 first, followed by T1. What will be the value of A and B after? Same. A before value is same. Before value is same. A is equal to 500, B is equal to 1000. Now T2 will execute it. This is time. This is executing first, this is last. So A is 400 and B is 1100. How? So read A means 500. 500 multiplied by 0.1, that means 50. So 50 deducted from 500, that means 450, and this is 1050. Again from 450, one will deduct it, so 400, and B 50, that means 1100. So 400. So database is consistent or not? If I execute T2 first after T1, then database will execute fast or not? Database is consistent or not? It is 1500. Then before also 1500, after also 1500. So database is consistent. So in first schedule, see, we will call this as a schedule. First schedule, when T1 execute first and T2 last, database is consistent. In our second schedule, T1 will get execute first and T2. Now let's run this parallelly. That means few part of T1, again few part of T2, again few part of T1, again few part of T2, and then we'll see. Let's see. Now calculate. Now we are running it parallelly. Up till now we were running it serially. First part of T1, then first amok some part of T2. This is schedule 3, parallel schedule. So write A 405 and B 1095. Right. So again, if I run these parallelly, then also the consistency is maintained. But my question is this the only schedule possible? No, it can run in any fashion. Let's see the next example, and now you calculate this. Observe everything carefully and let me know. If the transaction will get executed in this fashion, then what will be the consider the position of read and write. What is the value? What are the value? Consistency is maintained. Let's see what students online are doing. Answer is wrong. Answer is wrong. I was knowing. Now let me explain. Now the thing which I'm going to explain, you observe it carefully. Right. Now you understand the difference between database and the buffer. Now understand this carefully. Consider this is the database. Here I am writing, this is the database. So A, this is A. A is 500. And B is 1000. So this is database. So read A. So A, what A will read? 500. 500. A is equal to A minus 50. So what will be the A's value? 450. But before this 450 will be written in the database, the transaction switch happened. So read A. So what A this read will, it will not read 450. You consider the property of isolation. Transactions are not knowing parallelly, we are running parallelly. So this A will read this 500, not this 450. So again here A value is 500. Now temp is equal to 50. A is equal to A minus temp. Write A. So now what A's value is? 450. And here also it's 450. Because write performed. Read B. So what is the value of read B here? 1000. Write A. So what is the value with A? 450. So again it will write 450. Read B. What is the value of B? 1000. B is equal to B plus 50. 1050. Write B. So B is will be the 1050. So here this is 1050. B is equal to B plus temp. What is the temp? 50 and B is 1000 according to this. According to this, B is 1000. So 1000 plus 50 is 1050. I did some mistake. Let me check again. Okay, so value of A is 450, value of B is 1050. Is it your answer? Let me check it again. Here it's 1500. Okay, I think this is right. Is there any problem? So let me answer one by one question. So here, as you said, if it is parallel, initial value is the same, but what if it is series? Should we use the final value of A for T2 after transaction happened? I am not getting your question. Can you elaborate? The temp takes 50 in the last operation on B. How does B know? Here it's temp. Temp is here, it's calculated. So B know the temp.
Excuse me, sir.
But the temp is only for only A. Why B temp is 10% of. See, 10, not temp, 10% of. Where is 10% of B? You see the transaction again. Temp value is A multiplied by 0.1. So temp value is 50 here. Value of temp is 50 here. Then we are not changing anywhere value of temp. Where we are changing value of temp? Tell me. Where we are changing value of A temp? Tell me. And here in the parallel, we use the same A value, that is 500 for initially in the transaction, but in series of transaction, we have decreased the value of A because already first transaction is done. Yes. So parallel transaction, we don't have any control. It is up to the operating system in which schedule the transaction will be executed. It may be possible that only this line will get executed, then this line, then this one, this one. So out of T1 and T2, which line will get executed and which line will not, it is hand of the operating system. So our role is to check whether any schedule in any sequence, whether in any sequence, if transaction will get executed in any sequence, then whether the consistency is maintained or not. This is our role. Is it okay? So next, we are many schedules, so I'll stop over here and we'll see. We'll, but we did not do it in the first series. Example, can you show previous example if you don't mind? Yes. See what we will do. I'm not comfortable in writing over here. So in Monday lecture, I will take online. So no, you don't come in the class. I'll take it from my office with the notepad. So I need to write many things. So I'll take the lecture from the notepad. So it will be online. So you can attend it from your office, from your room, right? And today's lab also I'll be taking Oxine. First example wrong? No, nothing is wrong. So don't worry. We will again learn this topic from the first example, and you will understand it, right? But we'll do it online. So no need to come into class for DBMS lecture on Monday. And today's lab also will do online. So I'll be taking the lab from the office. So I'm stopping here. We will restart the topic. I'll be using Notepad, so your doubts will be clear. Is it okay? We'll restart the lecture again. We'll do from first. So all the doubts will be clear. But be online, no need to come on the class. So thank you all. Thank you. Yeah, I need board, but yeah, tell me. But this is not for this is temporary.